All right, welcome to another special episode of the Anime Match Kit podcast. As always, I am your humble host, Jack. With me is my favorite co-host,
Ryu. What's up, everybody? I'm back. Well, we're back, technically.
Yeah, back to a regular episode. All right, a lot has happened since we last recorded.
Yes, it did.
Did you hear about the new Scott Pilgrim TV show?
Yes, I heard about it. It looks good.
Yeah, so you saw the teaser.
Yes, I saw the teaser. But I really don't know much what's going on. I just know they're making a parody.
No, it's not a parody. It's an adaptation.
Adaptation. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's an adaptation of the graphic novel series from Brian Lee O'Malley. Did you ever see the 2010 movie?
Yes, I have. I really like that movie.
Oh, you liked it? Awesome.
Yeah, I really liked the movie.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be reviewing it sometime in the future. But yeah, so this Scott Pilgrim TV show is very interesting because I think like the hook of this show is that this show is actually going to adapt the books a lot closer than the movie, because the movie actually deviates from the source material like quite a bit. So
the movie didn't really follow the comic, but this series is gonna be like more of the comic?
Looks like it. I don't know for sure because they're probably going to do like a 13 episode or a 10 episode season. So that'll probably give them like a lot of room to adapt like all 6 books. But the movie, the original movie, only adapts the source material faithfully up to a certain point. Basically, the first act of the movie basically follows the storyline of the very first graphic novel to like a T, with a few things here or there they get cut out, but the movie's like first third is very faithful to the first book. But after that, after like the first act, the movie's story, the plot, it deviates from the books. Which, I could understand because the movie's only about 2 hours long. So they basically crammed in the whole story of the 6 books into a 2-hour movie. And in my opinion, I really enjoyed the 2010 movie. That was probably like my favorite movie of that year. And it was like...
sorry to interrupt. And the one scene of that movie I like it. Is Scott here? Actually, he just left. Really? Yeah.
Why the fuck do you always have to do the fucking sound effects?
I don't know. It's
me. Fucking cringe.
How am I cringe? It's my personality.
All right,
Stop
fuck. But actually, an interesting thing about that scene is that was actually done like all in camera. Like that, like there was no special effects.
There were no cuts, no nothing.
Yeah, no cuts.
So he actually jumped in through the window?
I don't know if it was the actual actor, but definitely if it wasn't, it was a stunt guy. But yeah, an actual person jumped out of the window in that scene. So it wasn't like CGI or anything like that. It was done practically.
Ooh.
Yeah, the Scott Pilgrim movie, even though it doesn't follow the story like beat by beat, it's a very well-made movie with a lot of good visual jokes and a lot of good directing, and the fight scenes are actually like really good. Like those fight scenes in Scott Pilgrim versus the World are like, if, like I've said this before, if Hollywood wants to adapt like anime action scenes, they gotta watch Scott Pilgrim versus the World. And whenever they make like a Dragon Ball Z movie or a My Hero Academia movie in Hollywood, they gotta copy the way that they directed those scenes in Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Honestly, they should do that for any like characters of Marvel, like characters that can break the fourth wall. They should do that for them specifically.
Yeah, like that movie has some of the best action scenes ever directed, because I watched like a lot of like, because like you mentioned the Marvel movies, I've watched like, basically all the Marvel movies, and I've noticed that like a lot of the Marvel movies, their action sometimes is not very well directed. A lot of it is like a lot of like shaky cam and like quick cuts, and so you never really get to see the action very well. Some movies more than others, but I just don't understand why why a lot of action films don't really want to show off like impressive action, which is like, that's like the whole point of going to see an action movie. You want to see impressive action scenes.
Yep.
Even though it's just a teaser, I really like the art style of the trailer, because it really captures the designs of the graphic novel very well. They were able to replicate Brian Lee O'Malley's signature art style and adapt it for this series, and I really like all the effects and just like the presentation of the trailer.
Well, I wouldn't know anything because I didn't read the comics at all, so I really don't know. So I'm going off on what you're saying.
I'd highly recommend that you read the graphic novels, because The graphic novels are also very good, like the movie. It's a different experience from the movie, which I think is not a bad thing, because I like it when, like, say, like the source material and then the adaptations have like a different like experience. That way, that they're unique. So, if you like the movie, you can read the books and have a different experience. And the books have a very charming, very manga inspired art style. And I think you would really dig it. Like, I feel like if you like old Dragon Ball manga, like back when like Goku was a kid, I feel like you would really like the Scott Pilgrim versus the World graphic novels.
All right, I gotta go check it out then.
Oh yeah, you can go to like your Barnes and Noble and pick them up there, because they're always in stock at Barnes and Noble.
Oh damn! All right, I'm gonna go stop on my nearest Barnes and Nobles then.
Also, one thing, the cast of the original movie is back for this adaptation. This adaptation is going to be released on Netflix. But like all of the people who were in the movie, Michael Cera, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Jason Schwartzman, Brandon Routh, all those people are going to be back reprising their roles.
Oh, so they're keeping the same. Yeah. All right, cool. Same voice actors.
Yeah, which is really cool, because I at least I feel that the fan base of Scott Pilgrim versus the World, I feel like not a lot of people have a problem with like the casting of the original movie. I feel like that movie is very well casted, because I really do feel that Michael Cera is Scott Pilgrim, and that, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who plays Ramona Flowers, I really do feel that she captures the character very well. And it's also interesting because some of these actors after the movie went on to become like, pretty famous, or they work a lot in like film and TV. Like, for example, are you familiar with the actress Brie Larson?
No, I do not.
Do you know who Captain Marvel is?
Yes, I do.
Well, she's Captain Marvel for fucking Marvel. So she's Captain Marvel. Of course, Michael Cera, he just starred in the Barbie movie. He played Alan, Ken's best friend. And yeah, and also Mary Elizabeth Winstead, she's in that new Ahsoka TV show for Disney Plus, the Star Wars show.
All right.
So a lot of these actors have continued to work in Hollywood, and it's really cool that they decided to return for this series. But it's also interesting because some of them I don't really see that often in other movies, because there's a character in the original movie called Young Neil, who's like part of Scott Pilgrim's friend group. And that actor, I haven't really seen him appear in a lot of things for a while, but I saw that on the cast list. He's played by an actor named Johnny Simmons. He's back as Young Neil, so it's actually pretty cool to see that actor be in stuff again. But yeah, so I think it's really cool. I'm really excited. I think the actual show is going to be released on Netflix on November 17th, so I can't wait.
All right, I gotta check it out when it comes out then, because it sounds interesting. I kind of want to see.
Who knows?
How they will.
Who knows? Maybe we'll do an episode.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, but no, I'm pretty excited. I don't really have a lot of complaints. If I do have complaints, they'll probably be when I actually see the show. but yeah, that's it for that. Did you hear about Charles Martinet?
No, I don't think so. I have.
Do you know who Charles Martinet is?
No, I don't.
If
I don't know him, I probably will know his face once I see it. But I probably will not know.
You dead ass do not know who Charles Martinet is.
If you tell me who he is and what he plays, I probably will remember.
You fucking call yourself a gamer? Are you a real gamer?
Okay, I don't remember people's names. I don't remember people's names. Shut the fuck up.
All right, I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a hint who he is. Charles Martinet is a voice actor, and his most famous character that he voices is a plumber.
Oh, Mario! There you go. Okay, now I remember.
Dumbass.
I'm sorry. I don't remember
dumbass.
Everyone's names of famous people.
Oh my fucking god!
The only person I know is John Cena, because he's been missing for years and years, and everyone keeps talking about his
shut the fuck up. You say that I'm always using dead memes. That is like the deadest fucking meme ever.
Well, I don't mention it over and over and over again. You do.
Oh, shut the fuck up. You use dead memes too. You fucking.
I do. I'm not denying that, but I'm saying I don't use dead memes over and over and over and over again.
Oh my god! All right, let's just fucking move on. All right, so Charles Martinet. So today,
You see that
Nintendo,
I won that argument? I won that argument.
You shut the fuck up! I'm trying to talk about Charles Martinet. You stupid.
Yeah, go ahead. What's happening with him?
All right, so Charles Martinet. So today, Nintendo tweeted out this picture, and I'm gonna read what this tweet says. All right, so this is from Nintendo's Twitter. Charles Martinet has been the original voice of Mario in Nintendo games for a long time, as far back as Nintendo 64. Charles is now moving into a brand new role of Mario Ambassador. With this transition, he will be stepping back from recording the character voices in our games, but he will continue to travel the world, sharing the joy of Mario and interacting with you all. It has been an honor working with Charles to help bring Mario to life for so many years, and we want to thank and celebrate him. Please keep an eye out for a special video message from Shigeru Miyamoto and Charles himself, which will be posted at a future date. So Mario's voice actor, Charles Martinet, is going to be stepping down as the voice of Mario, which he is also the voice of his brother Luigi, Wario, and Waluigi. So from today forward, he is no longer going to be voicing those iconic characters.
Oh, that's sad that he's like leaving. Like, good kudos for him for moving on and continue doing another thing in his life. But it's gonna be sad not hearing him as Mario no more.
Yeah, I have somewhat mixed feelings about this. When I heard the news, I was thinking a lot about, say, like the Simpsons actors, because Charles Martinet, he's not a young man anymore. I think he's about 67 years old, so he's close to 70 years old. And so you really have to think about, like, how much longer could he voice Mario? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I was thinking a lot about the Simpsons actors, because one day those Simpsons actors are going to pass away.
That is
true. So what's going to happen? Are they going to retire those characters? Are they going to recast them? Are they going to use AI? Who knows? And so I was just sort of thinking, like, Charles Martinet, he's been voicing Mario for almost, more than 30 years. And so, who can say how much longer he has it in him to voice Mario? And so, yeah, so I don't know if he's stepping down because of his age. It doesn't seem like he's stepping down because of any bad blood or like any like money disputes, because apparently he's going to still be working with Nintendo. So they gave him the role of Mario Ambassador. So we don't actually know what that means at this point. I can only speculate.
I think he's going to be like the person who gives like a role saying, yeah, he's good for Mario. Yeah. Oh yeah, he's good for Mario.
Well, what I think the role of Mario Ambassador might be is that Charles Martinet might still work as kind of like a spokesperson for Nintendo, maybe still like appear at conventions and appear at events, and maybe like, act as like kind of like a presenter or something like that. Because who knows? Because I've seen a lot of videos of Charles Martinet visit a lot of Comic-Cons and fan conventions, and just do like Q&A panels and stuff like that. And he probably gets paid to appear at those places too. So who knows? Maybe he'll just be like working like at Nintendo, just like being like kind of like a spokesperson for the Nintendo company and for the games going forward. So who knows? But I will say this: at least I don't get the feeling that there was any bad blood between Martinet and Nintendo, which is nice. So it might be just a thing where like maybe he just wants to retire. Maybe he just wants to spend like the last couple decades left of his life, relaxing with probably like his family or something.
True. Oh, now since he's gonna be the Mario ambassador, do you think now he's gonna pull a Stan Lee and just be cameos in all the games now?
Who knows? That could probably be something. Because we saw in the Mario movie, he voiced a guy in the pizzeria, and he also voiced Mario and Luigi's dad. And you know what's funny? Like the last line of the Mario movie that Charles Martinet said in the movie, he said, "That's my boys."
That's my boys. They're saying that's him.
Yeah, that's like, because in a way, yes, those are kind of like his children. He helped like create
them, yeah.
Create those characters and make them iconic, Well, he didn't create them. Shigeru Miyamoto did it, but he helped make them iconic.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, which of the Mario games is like your favorite of his performances?
Which one of the Mario that I liked?
Yeah, because he's been voicing Mario since 1991. Which one of the Mario games do you think he gave his best performance as any of the brothers? Because I would definitely say, even though I like Sunshine and Mario Odyssey.
I was about to say Mario Sunshine. I really like that one.
Yeah, he was good in that one, but I will say that I think his best performance was probably Mario 64 from the Nintendo 64. Because I think his voice really helps make that game. It really helps make that game memorable and iconic. So I would probably say that's probably like my favorite of his performances as Mario.
All right.
So it'll be sad to see him go. I don't know what the future entails for the Mario games. Who knows? Maybe they'll just keep reusing his voice over and over again. Because could you imagine how many like audio files Nintendo must have of him like just like grunting and yahooing from all the years?
Whoa, yahoo, yo, whoa.
Okay, you fucking cringe lord.
How? I was just giving an example. Jesus Christ.
Nobody fucking asked for your examples.
I just whatever.
But
continue on. Whatever.
But yeah.
Okay. Whatever. It's not like I want to put personality into it.
Oh my god. Okay, fine. Do your fucking personality.
Nah, I'm done now.
All right. But yeah. So who knows how this is gonna entail? Who knows? They might just like replace him with AI because they have like so much of his voice already out there. They'll just replace him with AI. Any thoughts?
Honestly, I'm sad to see him go, but also I'm happy for him to continue on living and doing other things than just sticking on the same thing over and over again.
True that.
Yeah. Honestly, I will miss him being as Mario, but I am happy for him to continue moving on and not sticking on the same thing over and over again.
All right. And then
he will be truly missed.
And then you mentioned something a little bit earlier about Deadpool. What was that thing that you were mentioning?
Oh, yeah. They canceled Deadpool 3 because of the actors' strike.
And are you aware of what's been going on with the actors?
I do not. I just, one day during my break from work, I just noticed that there was an Deadpool 2 was, Deadpool 3 was on hold because of an actor strike. I didn't really get into it because I had to go into work that time.
Mm-hmm.
I was very curious what happened. So I asked you before we recorded if you knew anything about that.
Yeah, so what basically happened is that, so we actually talked about this a little while ago in a previous episode, but we were talking about the writer's strike.
Yeah, the writer's strike is all different from the actor's strike, right?
Yeah, so first we mentioned the WGA strike, so that's the Writers Guild of America. They went on strike a few months ago because they're trying to negotiate for better contracts from the studios. So now the Screen Actors Guild is also doing the same thing as the writers. They are also striking for better residuals from streaming. So again, with both the writers and the actors strike, the main contention is the amount of residuals that actors are being paid from starring and appearing in movies and TV shows that are primarily streamed online, like through Netflix and Hulu and all the other streamers. So one of the things that went kind of viral when the actors were striking initially, there was this actress. Are you familiar with an actress named Kimiko Glenn?
No, it's not ringing a bell to me.
So she's an actress. People might know her as the voice of Penny Parker from the Spider-Verse movies.
Oh, yes.
So she's the voice of Penny Parker from the Spider-Verse movies. But before that, she was a star on the show Orange is the New Black, which played on Netflix. And she posted a picture online where she showed how much she was paid in residuals for appearing in over like 20 episodes of the Orange is the New Black show. Can you guess how much Netflix paid her for appearing in like a bunch of those episodes altogether?
Like the total amount?
Yeah, could you guess how much Netflix paid her in residuals?
In residuals, okay, let me think a little bit.
Just give a guess. Just go with your heart.
Okay, $1,000.
$22. So she got paid $22 in residual checks or in a residual check for starring in several episodes of Orange is the New Black, one of Netflix's most popular and most well-loved TV shows.
And she got paid that little?
So she got paid that little. So this is what the actors are striking for. And so, but because the actors are striking, the actors are no longer filming any productions, any TV or movie productions that are going on right now. So a lot of TV shows are not being produced. A lot of movies are not being produced. So one of the movies affected by this is the Deadpool 3 movie.
Yeah.
But before we go on, what did you think about the Deadpool 3 like leaks? Have you seen any of the leaks from that movie?
I seen that Wolverine's costume.
Yeah, so Hugh Jackman is back as Wolverine, and then he's wearing a comics accurate Wolverine costume, the yellow and blue costume.
Yeah. But on this one, they changed the outfit a little bit. He's in the original costume. Mm-hmm. He has his bare arms and legs revealed, and he has boots, pants, and the track of his chest. But for this one, they have a full clothed suit.
Yes,
so they're not revealing
very similar to Deadpool's.
Yeah, it's very similar to Deadpool's. So they're not sticking to the comics version.
Well, it's as close, I think, as we've ever got.
It's up close to the actual comics, but they're not fully like going with the comics.
Yeah, because there's some things like in comic books that I feel that just cannot be translated into live action without looking completely like ridiculous and goofy. Yeah, because like even if you look at like a lot of the Marvel like costumes, like they're pretty like subdued. They're pretty like, I wouldn't say realistic, but they're more downplayed. But you know, some costumes you really can't downplay. Like for example, Spider-Man. I feel that if you try to make it look realistic, it just won't work.
Harley Quinn. Because in the comics, she had a lot of revealing costumes.
Yeah. I mean, it just really depends on the tone, really, because if you're trying to do something a little bit more serious and a little bit more down to earth, going a little bit too goofy and cartoony is probably not the way to go. But who knows how this is going to affect movies going forward? Because I'm pretty sure that Deadpool already had its script written and probably is already on track to like, be like shot and like edited and all that stuff. But, they need to finish the scenes with the actors. So if you don't have actors, you can't complete the movie. So this is one thing that the Actors Guild, the union that represents the actors, this is one thing that they're doing to pressure studios into signing better contracts, is because if there's no actors acting in movies, the studios can't make money. Exactly. And also one thing that the actors strike is also affecting is actors going out to like talk shows, podcasts, and just like doing interviews for like movies and TV. So like a lot of movies that have come out recently, the actors haven't done like any press for them. Or if they have done press, they probably have already like shot and interviewed the actors like months or weeks in advance before the strike. I know that I read something recently that the new Ninja Turtles movie kind of like the box office is kind of suffering because none of the actors are able to promote the movie. So if you watch like a lot of the interviews for the movie online, it's mostly like the four kids who play the Ninja Turtles, because probably they're not in the union, because I think they're probably a bit too young to be in the union.
Yeah, they're a bit underage for that.
I don't know for 100% sure if kids could be in the union, but I do see a lot of interviews with them being interviewed online for the movie. But like Seth Rogen and Ice Cube, they did like a few interviews here or there, but you don't really see them on the press tour advertising the movie. Or like even like Mondo Gecko's voice actor, Paul Rudd, who's also Ant-Man in the Marvel movies, he's also not like doing press for the movie. So some people have said that the reason why Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has had a slow box office performance so far is because, people aren't seeing that much like advertisement from the actors. So that's one of the things that also is affecting studios going forward with their movies. So hopefully studios will realize that they need these actors to continue to promote the movie, and they'll probably hopefully sign better contracts so that they can compensate their actors much better.
I think the reason why they're like changing, because a lot of actors that are just starting off are not getting a lot of money to pay rent for these years, because have you noticed for the past 10 years, rent has increased? everywhere.
Exactly, and especially in big cities like Los Angeles.
Exactly. So, like, I noticed this. 10 years ago, we were able to pay like mostly our rent and still have like a lot of money left behind to do things we want. Now we don't. We don't have that much money to like go have fun, go out, or have any time to relax ourselves.
And so, but also imagine that you're like an up and coming actor, and then, you have to live in like New York or Los Angeles because that's where like a lot of movies and TV are being shot. And so you have to live around there. And also you have to have like a car to move around and go to location. So it's pretty hard. And a lot of actors rely on their residuals to survive because, not all of the actors in like movies and TV shows, not all of them are like Tom Hanks. Not all of them are Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Evans, So like, like those people, like the big actors, the big A-list actors, they make millions of dollars like every movie they make, but that's not every actor, like an actor, like for the union, like the union has like a minimum amount that you can pay an actor per day or like per movie or per project. And, they're making thousands of dollars, but also if you're living in LA, you're paying thousands of dollars in rent. And then also if you have an agent and a manager, you also have to pay the agent and manager. And, it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough out there.
Honestly, that's sad that everyone's like increasing money to pay things. But
the price of like rent and food and just like everyday expenses has risen, but the wages of the worker haven't.
Haven't not.
Exactly.
It kind of sucks. Like everyone's like because back in the day, there's a lot of parents out back in the day. I saw a video of this literally yesterday before I went to sleep of a mother explain to everyone that back in her day, they were told to work hard, get money, buy a house, move out from the house from your parents, and live your life.
Yeah.
And do whatever. But nowadays, when she tried to do that with her kids, her kids could not save enough money to pay rent or have enough can get a good working job to even buy an actual house.
Yeah,
because they will run out of money after the first month.
Exactly. And it's just getting tougher and tougher. And a lot of this is because like there is so much like deregulation in like banks and deregulation in a lot of companies where they can screw over their workers and not pay them a livable wage. And but also like at the same time, it also depends on like the responsibility of the person. And sometimes I think people need to realize that, maybe like, not spending like $5 a day buying like a cup of coffee at Starbucks. Maybe you don't need to drink Starbucks every day. But also
you can make your own goddamn coffee. Yeah, stop being lazy.
Because also at the same time though, it gets tough for everybody, and and it's just sad. But hopefully with this strike going on, hopefully it ends soon so we can still be getting movies coming out for the next year, and hopefully the actors get a better deal on residuals. Because I'll tell you what, like these companies like fucking Disney and Netflix and Warner Brothers, like all these companies, they're making millions and millions of dollars off of their content. And it wouldn't kill them to like throw the actors a bone every once in a while.
Yeah, so come on, be kind. You're already billionaires. There's no need for you to keep all that money to yourselves now.
Because could you imagine, do you think if you were a billionaire, do you think you would even spend like $1 billion in your lifetime?
No, if I was a billionaire, I would save it, put it on my savings account.
No, but imagine this, like, some of these fucking executives, they're millionaires, they're billionaires. Like some of them get paid like $100 million, $200 million a year. Could you even imagine spending $200 million like in your whole lifetime?
No.
Exactly. Like who even does that? Like that money is probably going to be inherited by your kids or whatever, but still, like, come on, man. You don't really need all that shit. You can, you can survive being paid $100 million a year instead of $200 million a year, you greedy bastard.
I agree to that.
Yeah, but also one last thing about the actors strike before we move on.
Yep.
One good thing that came out of this is that my fucking enemy got roasted.
Your enemy?
Yeah, do you know who my enemy is?
No, I do not.
Have you ever heard of a content creator named Straw Hat Goofy?
No, I never heard of him before.
Okay, so you probably don't like hang around like the film side of TikTok.
I do not.
Okay, so Straw Hat Goofy is this content creator who makes TikToks about movies. He does movie reviews. He talks about movies. And I fucking hate this guy with a passion. Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because he is such a corporate shill. He is like one of those content creators who, you know, he only creates content because he wants to please a certain type of audience. Like you can feel like his content is not authentic. Like he plays like a character. Like he plays like a character where like he's trying to please like a large amount of people because he knows like, oh, if I get a lot of views, I get paid a lot of money, or like studios will want to hire me to appear at movie premieres, because that's something that he does a lot, is that oftentimes when a big movie comes out, he's on the red carpet interviewing celebrities. So you know, like this guy is like a total fucking sellout, like just like the most scummiest like shill ever, and I fucking hate him. He has such trash takes on movies, and when he reviews movies, it's so obvious that all he watches is like fucking Marvel movies, because whenever he tries to review a movie that isn't Marvel, it is like the most cringe shit ever. And so one thing that he did to like bite himself in the ass is that when the writer's strike first was starting to happen, he made like a skit video of him like reading like the article, and then like another version of himself comes out and says, hey, did you hear about the writer's strike? And then, you know, his character says like, oh yeah, you know, it's pretty sad, it's pretty tragic. But then him as his character, he says like, yeah, but you know, I'm still going to be making TikToks. I'm still going to be making content. And if a studio wants to hire me to promote a movie, I'm going to take the job. And he got fucking roasted. He got fucking ratioed on Twitter, on TikTok. Everybody was flaming his ass. He had to like delete that original skit video because everybody embarrassed the fuck out of him. And I was like, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So you are satisfied?
I was very satisfied, yes.
I see.
My enemy got fucking roasted. He was roasted. They roasted his ass. R.I.P. Straw Hat Goofy. We hardly knew ye. Fucking grifter. But anyways, but yeah, those are my 2 cents on the writers, or no, the actor strike. Ooh, I'm getting a little bit drunk.
Oh my god, really? You just took one?
Just I know I'm a lightweight, but anyways,
you are a lightweight. At least it takes me 3.
Oh my god, shut the fuck up. All right, so what was that news thing that you wanted to talk about?
Oh, that was it.
Just the writer's strike? You didn't want to talk about like the video game or whatever that you were talking about?
Oh no, I already talked about it, haven't I? Or if
we weren't recording, dumb nut.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, okay. So there's a new game that is going out that has become very, very popular, and I've been wanting to play it, but I don't think they have it for the PlayStation. To be honest,
what's the name of the game?
It's called Baldur's Gate.
Give the viewers some content.
So basically, Baldur's Gate is a D&D game for solo players. If you don't have a group to play Baldur's Gate D&D together, this is the game for you. And it's hilarious, it's fun, and there's a lot of fucking memes out there about Baldur's Gate, which I love. I've been watching content of people playing it. It's hilarious game. Trying to like get critical success on some things, and it failed, honestly. For like the dumbest things, like I remember seeing a video of you guys getting attacked by a squirrel. You wanted to kill the squirrel. It was a critical failure. The squirrel attacks. You attack it back, but with that one kick, it dies. It's like so hilarious to me. Like you couldn't win against the squirrel. The squirrel had more luck than you than everything. But honestly, the game is really good. You basically are the full party group, but you control your actual character.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really good. I want to play it. And it's basically Baldur's Gate also is making fun of the other games, saying, "Oh, we can't provide this kind of content at all. It's too much. We have to increase the pay. We have to increase the price and all that." And Baldur's Gate just comes in and like, "All right, here's some easy features and difficult things we just did, and we're just gonna sell it for $60. Have fun." And it's the best game ever. No glitches, no problems, no errors, no nothing. And it's a good game. It's basically Baldur's Gate is basically a game saying fuck you to all the other games, saying, "Wow, you guys are this very top line game industry, and you could not even make a good game in the beginning. Like, wow, like here you go, here's your reward. Look at us, we're just a low quality D&D game with just some features and mechanics, and we're doing better than you." Honestly,
yes, sirree, Bob.
Yeah, honestly, game industry, learn from Baldur's Gate. Don't be greedy assholes. Learn from them. And there's only been
boy.
And this game was not built by an actual company. It was made by a bunch of game designers.
Mm-hmm.
And they made this on their own time.
Ah, so it's like an indie game.
It is.
Nice. I like indie games. Minecraft started off as an indie game.
Yeah, Minecraft started
Undertale 2, Among Us, a lot of them.
Mm-hmm. So it's really fun to see like a good game.
FNAF.
It's basically saying F you to the corporate game community, saying we did better than you.
Who knows
and you have tons of money to work on this.
Who knows? That like might be like the future of entertainment. Maybe not so much with games, because I feel like games make too much money for the whole system to collapse. But who knows, like with all these writers strike and actors strikes, who knows that like maybe like the future of like content is going to be all independent. Who knows?
We will see.
Yeah. But anyways, anything else they have to say about your video game?
No, that's it. I just wanted to mention that because it's being shit on.
Why is it being shit on?
No, not the game, not that game. The other game companies getting shit on for.
Oh, I see.
Because of that game existence. It's because it's better for the games that are existing right now.
So my enemy got roasted and your enemies are getting roasted.
Exactly. It's hilarious.
In Minecraft.
In Minecraft, yes.
They got roasted in Minecraft.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, we're done with that. Let's get on with the main topic of this episode.
All right. So today's main feature presentation, we're going to be talking about the anime series 100.
Yes.
100 is a light novel and a manga series that is written by Jun Misaki. And this story, this manga and light novel, they revolve around this character named Hayato Kurosagi. He is a teenager who lives in this world that is being attacked by these monsters known as savages. So these mysterious creatures are wreaking havoc throughout the world, and there are these characters, these people who wield this type of weapon known as the 100. And so people who wield the weapon known as 100 are usually recruited to become slayers. Slayers are like these, almost like these soldier type groups who go out and hunt and defeat the savages when they attack cities and stuff. And so our main character, which I'm only gonna call Kurosagi or Hayato. Hayato, basically he has like amnesia at the beginning of the series, and he runs into like this, let's call this person a friend, this friend Emil, who feels very familiar to him, but he doesn't know why. Later on in the series, we learn why this friend Emil seems so familiar to him. And so he enrolls into this academy where he's trained to be a slayer. but we very quickly find out that he has like these almost special abilities that he gained from an encounter facing off with some slayer. I mean, not with some savages. And basically he meets all these characters. He meets like the president of the academy. We meet his little sister, and we also meet these other characters along the way. And so I'm basically going to leave the description there so that we can give like our initial thoughts. And I'll start. I actually quite enjoyed this anime quite a bit. Now, I wouldn't say that this is like my favorite anime of all time, or this is like my new favorite, but I was surprisingly pleasantly surprised with this one. Now, there are some things that I didn't quite gel with, that I wasn't quite on board with, but I actually had somewhat of a good time watching this one. And also, with only 12 episodes released, this one's actually a pretty fast watch. So, you know.
It really is.
So I'll give it points for actually being like not too much of a commitment. And there are some things that I didn't like about it, but I will say that this is definitely a very solid 6 or 7 out of 10 show for me. I'm not quite sure what I would rate it now, but I would definitely say it's somewhere between a 6 or a 7. But anyways, what did you think of this show, 100?
Well, for me, 100 was one of the animes I watched and loved during my end of my middle school year. And this was when I was watching. I have officially watched over 100 animes.
Oh damn! You watched over 100 animes?
Yeah, of different types.
You deserve a birthday cake and everything.
Oh, shush your mouth. So this anime, I knew about it. I know the concept of the story and everything. I knew about the whole thing. It was really good rewatching it all again. Yeah. There were some parts that I've forgotten about, which my co-host, when we were rewatching all of it, I stood up like, oh my God, I forgot about this. Oh my God.
Yeah, there were some cringeworthy moments in this one.
Yeah, I forgot so many of those scenes. I just remember the concept of the battles and the fighting and the slaying. I remember only those. So rewatching all of the in-between parts, I was like, oh my God. And
that's what usually kind of ruins it for me. Like, it's the in-between parts. Like, you've shown me like a lot of shows that have like pretty good action, but it's just those in-between parts that just get me.
Yeah. I honestly forgotten all about it. I knew it was a harem action and sci-fi thing. And I was like, if I remember correctly, the harem parts are just girls just following him. But no, I was mistaken. It was him actually like going into those anime tropes of him tripping or the girl tripping, and they get into a weird, wacky little situation of when the main character's grabbing him or the female character's sitting on him in a lewd way. Like, yes, nice. That's swell.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I will say this. This is definitely a better experience for me than like, say, something like High School DxD.
Yeah, you mentioned that a lot.
Because at least in compared to that show, the harem parts of it are quite toned down. And what was that other one that we watched recently about the Fox girl?
The Fox girl?
The one about like the beta cuck and the Fox girl?
My mind is going into a blank. Hold up.
Yeah, we did an episode on it. What was that? What was that one episode?
Hold up. I'm going down our animes we already watched. Hold up. Which one you're talking about?
The one about like the guy in school.
Oh, Konokon. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Konokon. The second I heard school one with Fox Girl, like Konokon. That's the most recent one.
Yeah, I would say I definitely like this one better than that one, because mostly it's just because of the action. I felt like the action was a little bit more consistent in this one than in that one.
Yep.
And one thing that I did quite enjoy about this anime is I enjoyed like kind of like the world. I like the concepts that they were playing around with this world, because I like the idea of like there's like a threat. There's like some big monster, and then there's like some kind of like organization that's trying to fight the monsters, because it gave me a lot of like Evangelion vibes, and funny enough, Starship Troopers. Have you ever seen Starship Troopers?
No, I have not. I never heard that name before.
Have you ever seen that one bug movie where like the space marines are killing like all these bugs on like
Yes,
different
I
planets? So this show kind of reminded me a little bit of Starship Troopers, like not so much, but like it reminded me of the concept of it. And it made me realize that I love like these concepts where like, you know, you got like some kind of like military or like government agency or academy, and they're trying to like get rid of like giant monsters or like giant infestations of monsters. And yeah, I like that concept. And I think that's one of the reasons why I think I enjoyed watching this show quite a bit. But again, it's just like those harem, it's like that harem tropes and cliches that really like took me out of it. Because let's talk a little bit about like the characters. Let's talk about like the main character. Can you describe the main character for our audience?
Which one? I've already forgotten his name because
Hayato.
Hayato, there you go.
How can you forget?
It's we just rewatched it, and
right. Okay.
So Hayato.
I don't want to get into an argument.
Yeah, we always get into arguments.
All right, just explain the character to our lovely audience.
Okay, so I'm just gonna give a quick rundown. Who is Hayato? So Hayato is a guy that saved a young girl during the first wave of savages that attacked the planet.
Yeah,
and throughout the whole anime, they revealed that the savages comes from space, landing to the planet, started destroying shit. We don't know why they got sent down to Earth and started destroying shit. We just know they got sent to. They just came from space.
Yeah.
So when the first attack was happening, and he told us the area they got attacked and where he was at when he was a young kid, Hungerberg. That was the nation that was called the made up nation, Hungerberg. I don't know if it's in real life. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure there's a city called that, but it sounds real.
So yeah, so the city of Hungerberg was the first place that got attacked from the whole savage from the anime, and he and Hayato and a girl we don't know at the time got attacked, and she was severely injured.
Yeah.
And she was covered in the goo stuff of the savage and bleeding out. And for an attempt to save her, he was sucking out all the goo stuff to save her.
Yes.
But at the time when he did that, we went back and forth of him go now in the future as an adult. Well, no, as a teenager, going to high school, learning to fight the savages. And he says literally, why am I dreaming about that now?
Because you know what kind of reminds me of that? It's because Hayato has like a lot of like visions and like a lot of dreams. It reminded me a lot of the book and the movie Dune. You ever see the movie or read the book of Dune?
No, I have not.
So in that movie, in that book, there's the main character. His name is Paul Atreides, and one of the main things that happens to him throughout the book is that he gets all these visions of things that are going to happen later. But this one, like Hayato, it's mostly like flashbacks, but it gave me a lot of Dune vibes in this show. But anyway, continue on with him. Who does he meet like when he goes to school?
Okay, so the main character he meets up first, because he meets up a lot of side characters and also characters that became main characters as well. Let me see if I can find their names. So the first people he actually meets is Rita and Fritz.
Yeah,
it's the first students that became actual main characters, which in they're called supporting characters.
Yep.
So they were supporting characters that just fall around the main character all the time.
And one thing about like Fritz and what's the name of the girl?
Rita.
Irita. Oh my god! In this anime, fucking Fritz does this fucking annoying thing that made me cringe every time.
He doesn't like head pats. He head pats it a lot.
Patting the head of this girl that he's always with. Well, like, isn't she like his sister or whatever?
No, I just say that so you stop complaining.
Oh my fucking god! Then why the fuck is he petting the head of a girl he's not even fucking related to?
I don't know.
It's like, oh my god,
this is the reason why I told you
they
were siblings, so you stop having this argument and being irritated the whole time.
You are a fucking capper. You were
capper. I said that because I didn't want you to be arguing with me about this.
Because it's cringe.
I know it's cringe. I know it is. But I told you so we don't have this argument in the first place.
Well, what? Well, we don't need to get in an argument because I'm criticizing the show. I'm not criticizing you.
I know.
Because like, oh my God, this is so fucking cringe. He always has to fucking pat the head of this little girl. And I feel like I'm Quagmire in that one episode of Family Guy. Like there's this episode of Family Guy where at the beginning, Peter and his friends, Peter tries to convince his friends that there's pudding in a cup on a billboard. And so he climbs up the billboard, he falls into the fake cup, and he tells his friends, there's no pudding, but there's a kid in here. And when Peter pops out, he's carrying the kid, but he's carrying the kid in an inappropriate way. And Quagmire has to yell at him, don't hold him like that. And so every time that happened on screen, I was like, stop doing that. And I felt like Quagmire every single time.
You had your Quagmire moment.
Stop doing that. Stop petting her. Stop petting her on the head.
Yes. So going back to the main thing, after meeting those characters, he meets the main role character, which is a female, but in the anime, he is a male hiding the secret.
Yeah, so she's a female disguised as a male.
Yes, so the name that she goes off as a female character, her name is Amelia.
Yeah, that's her name. Her name is Amelia, but her male name is Emil.
Emil, yep.
Emilio.
Emil. Yeah, it says
Emilio.
Right here, the official name they gave her is Emil, the male name, but the female name is Amelia.
So let's just call her Amelia.
Yeah, Emil. No, Emil is because in the actual name cross is Emil.
All right.
So we're just gonna be calling her Emil. After Emil, they go through a whole scene of them catching up, trying to remember. Like he just acts like a guy, but she's also hinting that he knows him, but he doesn't remember her at all. So she just plays along as just a guy, so she could stay with him. There were some close calls when he was. Caught her off guard, but he forgot instantly afterwards. It's fucking anime trope of harem stuff.
Yep.
Regardless from that, the third character he finally meets is also the student council president of the Little Garden, also the captain of Little Garden as well, which is Claire Harvey.
Yes.
Which they gave her the nickname hair drills.
Yeah, because of the stupid hairstyle that she wears.
Yes, which I heard from friends and other people that's the hairstyle they give to England characters. Some of them.
I guess I've never seen a British person ever have that
know,
stupid.
well, they're
hairdo.
talking about from the oldie times. Back then, but the horses, some girls had curls.
Yeah, but not like that.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I think. That's why they give them the swirls.
But you bring up an interesting point. A lot of these characters have very European names, like Harvey, Fritz, Emil, Amelia, Charlotte. Like yeah, a lot of like European centric names, which is very I wouldn't say odd, but very surprising for like a Japanese anime. Not a lot of Japanese names in this one. So I guess like if you're an English speaker, it'll probably be easier for you to follow like the names of all the characters.
Yep. And then the other main character, which we meet on the same episode, or no, second episode, I don't really remember. We meet the sister, which is everyone who hates the name, Karen.
Oh yeah, Karen, another like European name.
Yep.
Karen.
So we meet her sister.
She's always asking for people's managers.
True. So Karen is Hayato's sister. She went into an accident. She has a disease that got from the savages.
Savages, barely even human.
And we find out later on that the savages liquid affects humans' bodies very negatively.
Which also reminded me of the book Dune, because in Dune there's a material known as spice, which affects people in that book. It gives them abilities, but it also fucks with their bodies and their minds. But continue.
So yeah, Karen got affected by the liquid, and she lost the ability to walk, and her immune system is going against her. So the reason
so she
why
has AIDS. You got AIDS. Yes, you
okay,
got AIDS.
so Hayato, to support her sister's medical expenses and everything, he became a hunter to fight the savages.
A hunter, ex-hunter?
No, stop it. He became a hunter to support her sister's medical bills.
Yeah, boy.
And that's the whole reason why he became a hunter. And that's basically all the main characters. There are some supporting characters that are lesbian dick riders and defending dick riders.
Ah, yes.
And my co-host.
Well, here's the thing: is like this show really, it really like does a lot of like cliche like anime tropes, especially with the characters. So with the main character, you got like the shy, somewhat like, not very confident main character. That's our main character. Then we have like the love interest who's crazy in love with our main character, but our main character doesn't like kind of like reciprocate the same feelings. Then we have like, say, like the rival, which is like the president. The president's kind of like a rival. She's also like a very type A, very by the book character, which we see in a lot of animes. Of course, we have Karen. She's the little sister who the main character has to protect. And we have a bunch of like dick riders. A lot of the supporting cast is a bunch of like dick riders. It seems like every modern anime has like to have like a fucking like character who's just like a fucking dick rider to like the main character, or like one of the antagonists, or like another supporting character. There's always fucking dick riders in these shows. Because I was thinking about like My Hero Academia, like that one character, the spiky one, Kirishima. He's a dick rider to Bakugo. And then like the slime, remember like the lizard prince? He also had a group of dick riders too.
Oh my god. Gamoru.
Exactly.
Gamoru.
It seems like every fucking modern anime has to have a bunch of dick riders. Like, were there any dick? Well, I guess like Genos from One Punch Man. He's a dick rider for Saitama.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my god, does every fucking anime have to have dick riders? Like no, not My Hero. On Attack on Titan, did they have any dick riders? It's been so long since I've seen it.
I'm trying to remember.
They probably didn't, but it just feels like every modern anime has like these dick riding characters, and I'm so fucking sick of it. I know. I just went on a whole rant. I'm a little bit tipsy right now.
So basically, after meeting the whole all the main characters and supporting characters, which I'm not gonna name them unless I need to name them. Throughout the whole thing, Hayato goes on training, fight the president because he in the beginning he hid from everyone.
Yeah.
Because he was the most high-ranking combat slayer for being a freshman.
Kill him.
He was a freshman that had the highest combat rating, higher than the president, who had the most high-ranking battle combat. And she's been fighting for years.
Yep.
More than him, and he has more combat power than her. Which we later revealed that he is a variant.
Ah, yes. It's the thing that kind of makes him special.
Yes. And we also find out, since he is a variant, but he's a different type of variant, he is the nobility blood variant. Which, in the anime, it didn't really explain what he is, but the director guy, the brother of the sister that runs the little garden,
yes,
he explains that he had the nobility blood that can unlock more power or ability from his core if he needs to when he's in danger of dying. And later on, he tried to use his own power to awaken someone up, but didn't really work. But also, there are also different variants. There is Berserker variant, Copy variant.
Which we see later in the series.
Yeah, later in the series, there is also a voice variant, that's
also like a Dune reference. In the book Dune, there's people who can use their voice to control people.
Yeah, but the song variant control savages.
Savages, barely even human. Savages,
So-
drive them from our shore.
So the difference
They're not
between
like you and me, which means they must be evil.
my God, shut the hell up.
You know where that's from?
No, and I don't care.
Okay.
At the current moment, you can tell me later. So the difference between a hunter and a variant, hunters and the variants are basically the same thing. They need to have the 100 crystals to activate their suits, but the
Yeah.
variant can increase the attack of their suits they have, and there's different versions of the suit the hunter can be of the character that resigns, because a lot of characters have suits implicating who they are and how their fighting style is. Like some of the supporter roles are supporter snipers, that some are brawlers because
like
of their personalities.
Like the sniper one, that's like what Fritz is.
Yeah,
And then you said brawler, like who's that? Oh wait.
I forgot her name already. Goddamn, hold up.
Yeah, because I do remember there
Rika.
were. Yeah, because there were different characters who had like different like abilities, which is kind of like in a video game. You know how like in a video game you'll have like different types of like characters. You know, some wield like guns and others wield like swords and
Yeah,
stuff.
it's because of their abilities and how they can adapt.
Mhm.
Especially Amelia.
Emilio.
Amelia is a variant that can make any weapon she needs to fit her situation. She's
nice.
She's basically a variant that can create any weapon and any device she needs to help her win a battle, which everyone sees that's a very interesting 100.
Very useful in battle too.
Yeah, very useful. Basically, she could be anything she wants in any role she can be. She could be a supporter, she could be a brawler, she could be a tank, she could be a supporter, she could be a fighter. She could be anything, basically, that fits the role.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
Well, back to the variant skills. So the basically of 100 is whatever your personality and your hobbies it looks like, you have the power of the 100 and goes off of the character.
Yes.
Because Hayato revealed later on in the episode that he used to do kendo a lot.
Oh yeah.
Which he got a variant of a sword, a suit of a sword.
Nice.
And for her sister, Karen, she likes using cards to predict the future of her brother. And she got a variant of cards, giving her faith and transing her form to whatever she wants.
Oh yeah, she does. What's it called? That witchcraft tarot cards. She
tarot cards, yeah.
Yeah, she dabbles in tarot cards. Which when we saw that, I would always say, brujeria.
So it's basically whatever you do, like on a daily, the variant will replicate what you do, so you be comfortable in fighting, or use the abilities you're comfortable with.
Yes.
So, anyways, I'm finishing explaining what the 100 is. So throughout the whole series, Hayato is just basically fight variants, save people, become a bodyguard for Pot Idol.
Yeah, pop star. Yeah.
Which I don't want to say her name because she's not from Naruto.
Oh yeah. What's her fucking name?
Sakura. Yeah, Sakura.
Actually, I kind of liked her character. I thought I was gonna be hell annoyed, but
she's
actually,
the diva of all divas, and she's been trying to marry Hayato right away.
Yeah, I was ready to hate that character, but actually no, I actually quite enjoyed her quite a bit. But anyways, continue with your explanation, my beautiful co-host.
So Hayato became the bodyguard for Sakura, and Sakura later find out that Hayato and he were childhood friends at Hungenberg.
Well, not Hindenburg.
Because of the first Savage attack. And she sang, she lost the passion to sing at that time, but because of her Hayato's sister, she only knew about the sister's name, which is Karen, and never knew about the brother's name. And because what he told her, she fell in love and loved the passion of singing again. So ever since she became a diva, she's been singing all around the world just so she could find Hayato again. When she finally did, by accident, after Haito talked about his sister singing that melody, and she telling him, how would your sister know that melody? Only me and my mother knew that song. And then when she finally realized what she just said, saying, hold up, Haito, what is your sister's name by chance? And like, huh?
Karen.
My sister's name is Karen. And then
She's
she
gonna ask for your
realized that,
manager.
my God, she finally realized who Haito is. The sister and the boy that made her became the diva of all divas.
Right.
And then that insinuates of her wanting to marry him even more.
A lot of coincidences in this show, by the way.
Yeah.
Which is not me complaining, but I just
there was a lot. There's a lot.
I just barely noticed that, but continue.
Yes. So after the whole after he finished his bodyguard work, she leaves but lies, saying that, oh, I was just kidding. I'm gonna be enrolling in your school and I'm gonna sleep with you now. Yay!
What the fuck?
Yeah, that happened. You don't remember?
I do, but it's like, oh.
And then they go, and then the harem.
It's that cringy shit
happened.
that made me not like the show sometimes.
Yeah. So afterwards, we went through some school beach episode, and then we finally got introduced.
There
the
always
brother.
has to be a fucking beach episode in these.
Not all of them now. There's not a lot of that anymore.
I do remember, like, in My Hero Academia, when they didn't do a beach episode, but they did a pool episode, and like they didn't dress the female characters in skimpy outfits, which was refreshing because it was like a subversion of expectations.
Mm-hmm.
But continue on, my beautiful, thick co-host.
All right, then. Yes, I am quite thick. Stop mentioning it. I am quite thick.
You're
all right,
a
so
thick
anyways. So anyways, after the whole deal of the beach episodes, meaning the brother actually came in to give a report of a mission they're gonna do. They're gonna capture a rogue scientist that was that created rogue slayers to steal cores from savages for her research. Which we met the rogue slayers from when he was bodyguarding Sakura.
Yes.
But I didn't mention them because they just came in, fought, and took the core and left.
Oh, one more thing about the Rogue Slayers. One of them is an emo bastard, which is another trope that I see in modern anime. All the villains have to be like these wimpy emo characters.
Yes.
But I'm not gonna say what I call. I'm not gonna say the name I call them in private because I'll get canceled.
Yes, he will. So, anyways. After the brother got revealed of the HQ and revealed the mission to capture the rogue scientist that is researching the savages to create her own savages later on, we find out.
Yes.
And she basically had these 3 kids that were slaves and they were brown.
Brown slaves? What the fuck? This show needs to get canceled like right away. No, but continue.
So the whole thing was to find the savages, find the hidden base. Some complications happened while the rogue slayers were taking down each camp and taking their hundreds. They made in between of them doing that, and Haito's group with the president and Emil, and then we got revealed with Emil's personal maid from her town, which we finally revealed that she's actually a princess.
Not a princess
of a country. Well,
not
a third princess of the country, which she revealed that she will not even succeed to the throne. And with the student council president also supporter, which is the lesbian dick rider. I'm not gonna say her name because it's not really important. They find out that there were other bases were being attacked after radios were jammed, and they met saw a flare from another camp being attacked. So they took action.
Are you really going to go episode by episode?
No, I'm just explaining the situation, what happened.
Well,
and then
pick up the pace because I really want to talk about other shit.
Okay, fine. Then in between of trying to save the camp and having a stalemate with this rogue savages, a
Yeah.
new savage revealed itself, a dragon type savage with a lot
Yes.
of destructive power. In between that, while they were still fighting and the dragon fighting, destroying the bases of everyone of the different camps,
Mm-hmm.
the savages said, "All right, let's make a deal. You let us escape. You let us fight that dragon. Take the core. I'll give you the 100, and don't kill you afterwards." So they make the deal. They fought. They worked together to fight the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't destroy the dragon's barrier because it was all new. They were trying to figure out how to destroy it. They finally figured out that if all the slayers, all the slayers that had any weapons, beam weapons or any kind of weapon that can shoot, were all fired together, that can destroy the barrier enough time for Hayato to go do the final slash. When they did that, they finally found out that their attacks weren't strong enough and revealed a trump card that was risky, which to give some of Hayato's revenant abilities and pass on the disease towards the president, because she was the one with the most strongest cannon in the entire group. And if Hayato gives his abilities towards her, her cannon could multiply even more to destroy the barrier and had enough time to slay it, which they did. They won. They slayed the dragon and they kidnapped the rogue slayers.
Right.
And when they took them, they treated them kindly because they didn't want to kill the kids because they thought they were being used and being lied to.
They're not fucking villains. Too, so they're not gonna fucking like execute the shit out of them.
Mm-hmm. So after taking in the kids, since their squad took the most casualties of injuries, they were sent back to Garden. Yes. And the other squad members that were trying to find the hidden base stayed to do the mission and trying to find the hidden base, which was revealed that they did, but they got ambushed by savages with no cores. Because the savages that they fight throughout the series had cores, which is their weakness, their kryptonite. All they need to do is destroy the core and they're down. But these ones were manufactured. They were created to mimic these savages with no cores. And these savages, you had to completely destroy them for them to stop moving around. Even though you took up their limbs, you destroyed some of their body parts, they will still continue moving and still continue doing things. So it was very difficult for them to take these down. But they finally did take down and find the rogue scientists during the whole school event that they always do in Little Garden. And they thought that they were going to be defeated by the evil scientists, plans of implicating a sonic wave that interrupts the Slayers' fighting capabilities. But she got defeated. They won, and they lived happily after a romantic kiss from the princess, which her secret was revealed.
And there was no season 2.
No season 2.
All right. So with you giving that very extensive summary, let's just talk about like what we liked and what we didn't like about
I
the
like
show.
the combat. I like the combat.
The action's very good.
I love the combat.
One.
So good.
It's very creative. I like the idea of the hundreds being like these weapons, like almost like these video game type weapons that they can use to fight the savages. I really like the combat potential. I also like it when they go like full armor. I forget what that
full armament.
Yeah, full armament. So I like it when they go full armament. And I really like the design of Hayato's full armament. He kind of gives me like Power Ranger vibes, and I thought that was a very good like design choice. So yeah, the combat is actually pretty good, and there's actually quite a bit of combat in this anime adaptation. It's really good. It's really fun. It's hard for me to like complain about like the combat. Any particular like fight scene that stood out to you?
A specific fight scene that stuck out to me.
Because one that I really like is actually like from the beginning of the series is when Hayato and the president were going at it. I kind of like that one because I like fight scenes that kind of like really, show off what the characters can do, and I like fight scenes that help move the story along. So that fight scene like really help establish like what are the abilities of the characters and what they can do and what we could expect in future battles. So I really like that one. So that one's probably like one of my favorite like combat scenes from the anime. Is there one that particularly stands out to you?
The one I liked when they're finally like defending the garden.
Oh yeah, at the very end.
Yeah, at the very end. I love that they were fighting.
Gave me a lot of 9/11 vibes.
Yeah, a lot of plane crashing, a lot of bombings, a lot of
Yeah.
questionable things.
Yeah, but keep talking about it. I want to know what you liked about it.
So the whole thing that I liked about it, to be honest,
Yeah.
was the whole fighting scenes.
Mhm.
Like they had like a lot of risks. There were a lot of people getting hurt. There were
Exactly.
a whole lot of things that was going wrong.
Yeah.
But in the end, they finally like they finally got some things right.
Yes. I also like the fact that they can run out of energy. So that adds like an extra layer of stakes to the battles. So you know that they're not just like overpowered like superhumans. So there is a chance for them to like get fucking like murdered and stuff.
Yeah, which happened a couple of times. It was we're at the brink of death.
Yeah. But another thing that I liked about the show is I actually really liked some of the characters. And you know what? I think I came to the conclusion of who's my favorite character.
Who was your favorite character?
I really like Emile/Amelia.
Emile/Amelia? For what reason?
The character at first, the character did not grow on me, or I didn't think that the character was all that great like in the first episode. And I'll get to this part and I'll talk about the first episode when I talk about my complaints, because I have some things to say about the first episode.
Of course you do.
But as the show went on, I actually really appreciated the relationship between Hayato and Emile's relationship. I really thought that their relationship was very sweet and very fun to watch. And I liked their interactions with each other because they really did feel like teenagers in this show, because they essentially are teenagers. So, they go on like little dates and stuff and they hang out with each other. So it really shows that they are friends, it really shows that they're good friends and that they can hopefully be like a good couple in the future. So I really, and I think one of the big things that makes me like their friendship a lot is the character of Emile. I like the way that she is. Well, I don't always like the way that she is written, but I like the way that she's performed and the way that she's used in the episodes, because, because she's a good friend, but she also gets sometimes jealous, but she still helps out in the battle. So she's not like a total bitch or anything. So I really liked her. She surprisingly grew on me throughout the series. I don't know about you. Like, how do you feel about Amelia or Emile?
Emile, I really didn't care because I already knew the whole story about.
But did you like the way that she was used, or like?
Yeah, I like that. She had like a secret that she's hiding from everybody. Like she had close claws and everything.
But how do you feel like the way that she interacts with the characters? Because one thing that made me like her a lot is the way that she interacts with the other characters. I felt like she was a very likable character.
So for me, I liked her because she was determined. She knew what she wanted. She knew who is hers, and she know that no one's gonna get this person because he's mine and mine alone.
Yeah.
She gets like that jealous. Like she gets jealous that, hey, get away from her. Hey, you're having a peaceful little moment there.
Yeah. Well, I feel like one thing that I kind of wanted the show to like focus on a little bit more was actually like the relationships of the characters, but not focus on them the way that the show actually did, because I really couldn't stand like any of like those harem scenes, like those anime harem scenes. I wish that the characters were written a little bit more subtly and a little bit more like down to earth. And I felt like the relationship should have been a little bit more, not realistic, but definitely more like grounded and down to earth. Because I like the fact that she like, you know, is like, and I've said this a couple of times throughout the show, I like that she's essentially like horny for like the main character.
Yeah, she is.
But I just
100%.
wish that the relationship was a little bit more authentic and a little bit more human-like.
Why human-like?
Because I wanted to see a relationship that kind of reflects like relationships a little bit more like in real life rather than like just like a dumb harem anime. Because one thing that I also liked about the show that I was thinking about like since we were watching it is that I like the idea that they were kind of doing like all these like love triangles. I like the idea that, you know, that Hayato also probably had a chance to be in a relationship with Sakura or with the president of the students, you know, because I felt that his interactions with those characters also, there was also something sweet about it, but in a different way. Like with the president, I felt like there was like a mutual respect between both characters that could probably blossom into a romance. And I like the little backstory that he had with Sakura. So, you know, so there's something there too. I just didn't like the fact that they always had to do like grabbing the boob or falling on top of each other.
Yes,
or like walking into like them changing or whatever.
Yes, the classics. How can you forget about the classics?
I just felt that those scenes really undercutted those relationships because I was really surprised on how well, or at least how they established how Hayato interacts with like these three women and how there could always be potentially like more romantic feelings between him and these other characters. And I wish that they could have done like a will they, won't they with a lot of these characters instead of just doing cringe harem anime antics. But also I felt like maybe if the show relied more on will they, won't they type stories, maybe it could have continued on a little bit more, because they could probably continue that if they had like a second or a third season. They could probably like explore those relationships a little bit more.
And also during that whole anime, I saw that you're cringing, that you wanted more combat. I mentioned there's an anime that you will really, really like, since you like combat and you like it breaking the norm of being kind to people.
Well, yeah, because for me with like anime, I do like a lot of like action and plot driven anime. Like because I grew up watching like Dragon Ball Z and like Yu Yu Hakusho. I like a lot of like anime that has like good combat and good action scenes. But this one wasn't too bad. This one at least had a few decent action scenes that kept me coming back. Well, at least like when we watched the new episode, it kept my attention for quite a bit. And actually, one thing that I did like about a lot of the episodes, like in terms of like pacing, they move pretty fast. Like I didn't feel like the episode dragging a lot. Like I felt like the episodes had like this very like quick pace to them. So that's actually something that I enjoyed. But also one thing that I think one of the reasons why it probably had a quick pace to me is because there was enough there in the episode for me to like enjoy. I enjoyed Hayato and Emil's interactions. I enjoyed watching Emil interact with like characters like Sakura or characters like the president. There were some interactions between characters which I didn't like. I didn't really like his little sister that much, Karen. I really didn't like the way that character was written, and I found her completely annoying. I just really couldn't get behind her.
Really? You couldn't get behind the Karen?
Exactly.
The woman of creation of all manager firing.
Exactly. Like, I just couldn't get behind that character. I just found her voice very irritating and like her presence like not that funny or compelling.
Okay. Gotcha, Professor.
And again, you know, like cringy stuff like the patting on the head and stuff, I really could have done without any of that. One thing that I did like is I liked how the show kept reminding me of other shows or movies. Because you mentioned that
you kept mentioning it a lot.
Because you mentioned what's his face, the main character, he does kendo, and so that's why his 100 is a sword. I like the fact that where we discover that he knows kendo, he's also fighting this other dick riding girl who's using like this kind of like this ball
chain
on a chain, and that reminded me a lot of Kill Bill. Like, remember that one scene in Kill Bill where like the bride is fighting like the crazy 88 and then she has to fight the schoolgirl? That
Yes.
reminded me, that episode reminded me of that scene.
Mm.
I don't know how to feel about this. I like the fact that this show has like a lot of world building to it. Like there's a lot of like, you know, it's obvious that this show, the world that this show takes place in, there's a lot of history behind the events of the actual story. And I like the fact that, you know, well, I don't know if I like the fact, but I feel like I'm glad that they didn't really spend too much time telling us what the Slayers, where they come from and what they're doing there. Like there's a little bit of a mystery. And so if they did have like a season 2, then maybe like in season 2, they could explore the mystery of the Slayers or just reveal it to the audience.
You mean the Savages? Or...
Oh yeah, the Savages. What the fuck? No.
I was wondering what you were talking about the Slayers. They had a purpose.
Disregard that. No, the Savages.
The Savages. Okay, there you go.
Because I like the fact that in the anime they don't really go way too much into this to the Savages. I like the fact that the Savages, like their presence on Earth, is kept somewhat of a mystery. And I also like the fact that they reveal some things that are kind of shady about like the government in the show. And I felt that if they had a season 2, they would really like explore like those concepts and those themes. Because I mentioned that this show kept reminding me of other movies. The ending of this show, basically they ripped off Akira.
How?
So remember in Akira where like once everything like goes like to shit and then like the whole conflict is being solved by basically summoning the spirit of Akira to fix the problems of what's happening in the movie Akira.
Yeah.
Basically, like in this show, they summon, I don't know if she's dead or whatever, but they summon.
No, she's alive.
So they summon like basically the spirit of like the president's sister, and she basically like saves the day.
Not really. She didn't really save. She supported the main characters to save the day because her powers were limited.
Yeah, but it's straight up. They're straight up copying Akira. Like you can't deny that. Like they basically took a page out of the Akira manga and they're like, oh, we need an ending. Let's just copy Akira, the most influential anime ever.
You don't know that,
dude. It's Akira. It's basically the ending of Akira. Like, and it even takes place in like a futuristic environment. Now, granted, it's not like post-apocalyptic, but still, it's like basically Akira, dude. You can't deny it.
Okay, I will say yes for the sake of the argument.
No, but if you really feel that it isn't, like, you know, tell me why it isn't.
Because I didn't feel that it was Akira.
Well, I did feel that it was Akira. Because throughout the whole ending, I was like, Akira.
I know you were saying that a lot, which I don't know why you were saying it because well,
this show just kept reminding me of Akira.
Yeah, I know it was just like Akira. His spirit comes in to help everyone else, but it wasn't really Akira. But I get your meaning of why it was Akira.
Like, okay, so I'm not saying that it's copying it 100%, but like it's a similar concept. You know what I mean? Because a lot of movies and
show you a similar concept.
No, but here's the thing. A lot of movies and TV shows, like a lot of new or modern movies, they do oftentimes copy things that came before it and they repurpose it for like a new story, which is not inherently a bad thing. I was just saying that the ending of this show really reminded me a lot of Akira, even down to like how like in Akira, if you remember in Akira, some of the characters like during like a big attack on the city were killed or defeated by just people shooting at them with like a piece.
Ah, yes.
And yeah, so it just gave me a lot of Akira vibes, which is not a bad thing because if you have like a TV show or a movie and it's paying tribute to something that came before it, there's nothing wrong with you paying tribute to something that came before your own thing. I'm just saying.
Okay, cool.
I'm just Super Saiyan.
All right, Super Saiyan God Blue doesn't care for its children. God. Monkey.
Oh my God. All right. Anything that you particularly liked about this show?
For me, honestly, Nah, I just like the combat. That's the combat, excluding from
So
all
for
of the.
you, the whole show is just the combat.
Yes, I just remember the combat. I love the combat.
Yeah, because it's kind of hard for me just to like love a show just because it has like good action scenes, especially like if it's a type of show that it's not just action scenes, but also like dialogue in between. So like, the action scenes are good, but also you have to do something interesting or something compelling with like the scenes in between. So it's hard for me just to love a show just because of the combat. Like I either have to get attached to the
Well,
characters
I like
or like the
the reason
writing.
why I like the combat is that's what if you mention 100, the only thing I will remember is the combat. I
Mm-hmm.
like the combat. That's it. If I watch it again, like we did for this episode,
Yeah.
I would say, oh yeah, the combat, the harem, the little here and there's, the school festival things. I would say all that, but
Yeah.
if you're just telling me from years later and ask what you like about 100, and I basically say what's 100? 100 is they give me a plain like you remember Hayato with the savages and fighting, like oh yeah, I remember, I like the fighting scenes. That's all I'm gonna remember about it, just for the
Mm.
fighting scenes.
I mean, yeah, I get where you're coming from, but I just feel like for me, like whenever somebody asks me, "Oh, hey, what's your favorite movie?" and I'll say something like Goodfellas or like something like Raging Bull, and then I'll
Of
think
course you will.
and then I'll think about like say like the characters. I'll be like, "Oh, I really loved Ray Liotta's performance as Henry Hill. He did a really good job portraying that character."
Well, for you, you're a movie clerk and
Yeah,
you
but
like giving details of what you like. For
but
me, I don't like explain myself what I like. I just give it the straightforward. I like the fighting
But
scenes.
also, I just feel like for me, because I'm a little bit older than you, I feel like I just need a little bit more for me to like a certain show or a certain movie. Like it just hasn't, because like I can't just say like, oh, I like the effects if I didn't like the characters. Because like if I watch a movie and it has like pretty good action scenes or pretty good special effects, but the characters and the writing are just or trash, I really just can't get behind a movie. And not saying that 100 is that. I feel like 100 does have a lot of, well, not a lot, but it has a few compelling characters behind them. In the movie, I mean, there's some good characters in the show. I just feel like, for me personally, I just need a little bit more than just good effects or good animation or good fighting scenes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I will say this, one thing that I didn't like about this show is I thought that some of the motivations of the characters were kind of sappy or kind of stupid.
That's what it was, basically.
I just so for like Hayato, the one thing I didn't like about him is that okay, so here's the thing I didn't like about him. I didn't like whenever he had to like give like a speech during battle and he had to say, "I'm fighting for a peaceful world where nobody gets hurt and everybody loves each other." I'm like, "Oh my god. I could barely stand it when Deku says shit like that." But oh my god, dude. Oh my god. So fucking childish. Yeah, like I just I was like, oh my god, this again, this whole like friendship and nobody gets hurt. Come on, dude, you can't get better motivations than that.
Who needs better motivations when you have
I
the power?
do.
Let me finish my thing. Who needs motivation when you got the power of friendship in your seed?
Yeah, he's gonna defeat the enemy with the power of friendship. Oh my god,
Exactly, the power of friendship.
I just get so tired with like animes doing like, I can't defeat this villain, but with the love and power of my friends, I can defeat them. Oh my fucking god. Jesus Christ. Calm the
With
fuck
the power
down.
of friendship, I will see you.
I just really hate that trope in anime. Get better motivations. Write your characters with more complexity. Come on, dudes.
More complexity.
Yeah.
Then you're asking too much of them. Then
I don't think so.
you're asking too much for them. They
I
cannot
think I'm
comprehend.
asking just enough.
I'm making a joke, but okay.
I know.
Sure.
I'm asking just enough.
You're not asking enough. Well, guess what? You're asking way too enough.
No, I'm asking enough. I am enough.
I who enough.
Do you even know what I'm referencing right now?
Breaking Bad.
No. You dumbass.
I am who knocks.
No, I'm Knuff.
No, I
I'm
do not.
referencing Barbie. Oh, you haven't seen
I
Barbie,
haven't
have you?
seen Barbie. You're referencing something I don't know the reference of.
All right, okay, moving on. But yeah. Uh yeah, so those are basically my thoughts on 100. But let me ask you this. If 100 would have gotten a season 2, what would you have liked to seen from a season 2?
I would have seen the triangle, who he will go out with, who he married.
Mhm.
I
That's definitely one thing I would like to see.
like
Is
like let me like every harem that
mhm.
I watch always ends the same way. He gets a bunch of girls that he promised to marry, but it never continues on the second season. It just stops on the first season. It just leaves
Mhm.
out on a cliffhanger who he will actually marry. There is hints of who he chose at the current moment,
Mhm.
but in the end, we don't know who he actually chose to live his life with.
That's why I feel that, if they're going to do like romance and anime, they should really have a plan for it, because I feel like when they do that, I always feel like I'm jerked around and not given a satisfying ending when we watch these types of shows.
Yeah, but good thing some of the modern anime that we have in the list does reveal of who he will actually marry. He actually some of the harem animes I recommend. He actually gets all the girls and marries all of the girls.
Oh my god. Uh
Just because he is foretold from the future, he should have this amount of wives.
okay.
If you guys know what I'm referencing, yeah.
Save it for later, but yeah, one thing that I would love to like learn is that there is a character in this show that's introduced. He is the brother of the president. I would like to see kind of like a little bit more of him in the future. See what kind of like shenanigans he cooks up for our main characters.
He's the one who cooks.
Yeah, he's the one who knocks. He's Walter White. I
Yes.
also want to see like how this world works, because we basically only got to see a few locations. I would love to see the main characters go travel to more uh countries and stuff and solve problems there. But yeah, anything else that you want to see in a potential season 2 if this ever gets a season 2?
I don't think it's gonna get a season two, man.
Yeah, it's been quite a while.
Yes, it has. I'm quite sad.
Because
I
yeah.
really love the whole thing,
Mhm.
and I really wanted to come back, but that's just like begging for too much.
Yeah, it kind of is, because like this show came out in 2016, not the anime adaptation.
Yes.
It came out in 2016 and it actually had pretty good animation in it. But I just feel like there was probably just like a lot of anime like taking viewers away from it. Like probably like
My Hero Academia,
My Hero
Attack on
Academia.
Titan season 3.
Yeah, One Punch Man. Like a lot of like anime at the time was probably taking a lot of its viewership. And also you guys have to remember that anime is like a commercial for the manga. So if the manga does not sell well, companies who produce the anime will probably not want to put in any more money to produce another season.
Because they will see it as a failure.
Exactly. So the success of an anime has to do more with like the success of the manga, also the merch in some cases, but mostly like the manga. So if the manga sells well, an anime will be produced. If it doesn't sell well, no more. There won't be any other seasons to.
It's basically
to an
a
anime.
deal or no deal.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you want it, you take it. If you don't want it, it will not repeal no more.
Yeah, because in Japan, manga is more popular than television.
It is.
Because manga is like the number one form of entertainment there. Because here in America, I guess you could say now it's video games. Video games are much more popular than movies and TV. But for a long time, it was movies and TV who were like the reigning kings of entertainment. But yeah, so let's just give our final thoughts on 100. So again, I mentioned at the top that I did enjoy the anime. I did have some problems with it in terms of like its writing and its presentation, but I do feel that the show is a very solid it's a very solidly made anime. I will definitely give it a 6 out of 10 for now, but keep in mind that this is a 6 out of 10 show that I enjoyed. What about you, my lovely
and
co-host?
that's all good at that certain point.
So what would you give the show 100?
For me, for 100, I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
Oh, really?
Because it really hits the nostalgic, and I really enjoyed rewatching all of it. It's not a 10 because it really left off a lot of cliffhangers.
Exactly. A lot of like unresolved story beats and plots.
And we really didn't get that much information on what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
And I wish we had more information, but overall it was a good anime. I liked it. It was enjoyable. And what can you say? You get an anime you get, and you enjoyed it where you enjoyed it. No complaints from here.
Exactly. So, my lovely co-host, it's time now to reveal what our next recommendation is going to be.
Oh no! What's gonna be our recommendation this time?
So this
recommendation this time is.
So the next recommendation is my recommendation. So we're gonna be watching the 1984 Best Picture winner, Amadeus.
Amadeus what?
Amadeus. Amadeus. Yes, we're gonna be watching Amadeus. Have you ever seen Amadeus before?
No, I
have you ever heard of it?
No, I have not. So this is going to be a quite interesting day.
Let me ask you this. Are you a fan of classical music?
I listen to some classical music.
Who are some of your favorite composers?
What's that one? Mozart? What's the one who made
that's what Amadeus is about. It's really? It's a movie about Mozart.
Oh, cool.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, Amadeus from 1984. That's our next recommendation. I can't wait to show it to you because it's definitely not a movie that you would usually watch.
Interesting.
I feel like we're going to have a very interesting conversation about it.
Oh, no, we're going to have an interesting field day for this, folks. I wonder where it's going to happen.
Okay, so for our next episode, we're going to be talking about Amadeus. But before we end off this episode, let's tell the people where they can follow us on social media.
You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, well, X now.
Threads, Letterboxd. So yeah, so you can follow us on many social medias. I'm going to go through where you can find us. On Instagram, we are under Anime Match Cut Podcast. On Threads, we're also Anime Match Cut Podcast. On the app Letterboxd, we are just Anime Match Cut. And on Twitter, we are also at Anime Match Cut Pod. If you want to join us for any updates on our social medias, please follow us. And you, my lovely co-host, where can we find you on Twitch?
You can find me at Twitch/TV Dragon 9074. It will be on the descriptions down below. I'll be playing multiple games, mostly Genshin sometimes. But I do play other games. Sometimes if you catch us, we will be playing co-op games, me and the co-host, for more entertainment, and we're gonna just be talking about random topics, random things while we play games together.
We might drop some slurs.
Yes, we will. So if you want the uncensored version, come to the Twitch.
All right. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you at the next one.
Bye, guys. See you next time.
Bussy.